There is a gospel that the church never wanted you to read, a text so controversial they buried it for nearly 2,000 years. It says Jesus was never crucified. It says he stood laughing while someone else died in his place. It says the one we called a traitor was actually the only one who understood him. This is not fiction. This is the Gospel of Judas, and what it reveals changes everything we thought we knew about the crucifixion, about salvation, and about Jesus himself. The Lost Gospel returns, 1978, Egyptian desert, near El Minya. A farmer digging in limestone finds a sealed jar, inside a leather-bound codex, with pages made of papyrus, fragile, faded, but real. It passes through black markets, smugglers, private collectors, until 2001, when scholars finally obtain it. What they uncover is a gospel lost for centuries, never included in the Bible. A gospel written not by the church, but by rebels, mystics, those they called Gnostics. It is called the Gospel of Judas, and it doesn't tell the story of betrayal, it tells the story of initiation. And in it, Jesus speaks words the church could never allow. Jesus who laughs, he laughs, not out of cruelty, not at his disciples, but at the illusion. In this gospel, Jesus laughs during prayer rituals. He mocks animal sacrifice. He tells his disciples they follow the wrong God, a blind creator, a demiurge, not the true divine. And then he turns to Judas. You will surpass them all, for you will sacrifice the man that clothes me. What does he mean? Is Jesus saying he's not the body, that his flesh is only a garment? It's the Gnostic idea that spirit is trapped in matter, that the soul must be freed, not crucified. Who did they crucify? This is the twist, the mystery at the heart of the gospel. Jesus says, "You will sacrifice the man that clothes me," meaning the one who dies is not him. The Gnostic Jesus is untouched by pain, untouched by death. He watches the crucifixion as one might watch a play, and he laughs because they have no idea who they're killing. This idea wasn't new to Gnostics. Other Gospels hinted at it. The second treatise of the great Seth even says, "It was another who drank the gall and vinegar." To them, the crucifixion was a deception. The truth was hidden behind illusion, a spiritual jailbreak disguised as death. The church's dilemma: if this is true, then everything changes. The crucifixion is no longer a bloody sacrifice for sin. It's a trick, a lesson, not pain, but liberation. But the church needed obedience. It needed guilt and fear and redemption through blood. A laughing Jesus, a divine Judas, that was dangerous. And so, like many Gnostic texts, this gospel was branded heresy. It vanished into the sands of Egypt, along with it, an entirely different Christianity. The Gnostic vision, the laughing Savior. To understand why Jesus laughed, you have to understand how Gnostics saw the world. To them, the material world, everything you see, touch and suffer in, was a trap, not created by God, but by a false god, a lower being called the demiurge. This demiurge crafted the world like a prison, full of pain, death, lies, and illusion. But the true divine? It was beyond matter, hidden, unseen, pure light. And Jesus, the real Jesus, came not to suffer, but to wake us up. That's why he laughed. Because he saw the world for what it was, a dream, a mirage, a veil. He laughed, not at our pain, but at our blindness. He came to bring gnosis, hidden knowledge, not belief, but direct knowing. Not follow me, but wake up. Judas, the illuminated one. Now we come to the most dangerous idea of all. Judas was chosen. In the Gospel of Judas, Jesus pulls him aside, not to scold, but to reveal. You will surpass them all, he says, because you will sacrifice the man that clothes me. Judas doesn't betray, he obeys. The others don't understand. But Judas is the only one willing to act. In Gnostic thought, this is the sign of an initiate, one who steps beyond morality into truth. And Judas weeps, not out of guilt, but because he has seen too much. His role is terrible, sacred, cosmic. He gives up Jesus, not to destroy him, but to release him, to kill the body so the divine can return home. The hidden cosmology of Jesus. The Gospel of Judas contains strange cosmology. Jesus says the world was made by lower angels, rulers called archons. They are blind, arrogant. They think they are gods. But above them lies the true realm, a place of light and silence, where the real God dwells. Jesus says he comes from that realm, not from earth, not from Mary, but from the stars. The archons try to trap him. They use priests, kings, temples, crosses, but they fail, because Jesus is not theirs. And when they crucify his body, he watches from above, from beyond, and he laughs, because they crucified the illusion, not the essence. Suppression and the final secret. So why was this gospel silenced? Because it breaks the system. If Jesus wasn't sacrificed, if Judas was the hero, then the foundation of institutional Christianity trembles. No original sin, no blood atonement, no monopoly on salvation. Instead, self-knowledge, initiation, inner awakening. This gospel was dangerous, not because it was false, but because it was free. So they buried it, declared it heresy, and left it to rot in the sands. But truth doesn't rot, it waits. Final revelation, the laugh and the choice. He laughed, not in mockery, but in revelation. Because death is not the end. Pain is not the truth. The cross was not the prison. The body was not the man. And Judas? He was not the villain. He was the door. Now, the question is not what they told you, but what they didn't. What if Jesus laughed because the real betrayal was hiding this gospel from you? The silent library's truth was never lost, only hidden.